Okay, so this here says the government doesn't buy houses. So this is part two of, can you tell me about the HUD housing Ponzi scam? So the thing is, the government does buy up some houses, and so when they've been in disaster areas, or they've gone past their 20 years, the government does buy up houses really cheap. When they're in a flood zone, the government will buy them up because they're no longer safe. So the government will take the cheapest value, the least amount of money, and give it to a person. So when you're in a flood zone, or you're at risk in the potential of no tide, and you're in something that's flooding all the time, then the government will offer you money to sell your property. Now, a lot of people want to make a profit off of the government, and the government is not going to give you a skyrocketed profit amount. So that's what people want. And I think that's what happened in Florida when these people built these great big mansions next to the ocean. They built huge mansions next to the ocean. Then the hurricanes come in and the big mansions are at risk for flooding. Well, then they want money from the government to pay for their mansions. But there's a stipulation, though, related to insurance. So they're not insuring houses anymore in Florida that are really on the coast because of the fact they're too risky of flooding. And so with insurance, then they're telling people they have to rebuild the house in the same spot. Well, basically they wasted their money because of the fact that they built the house in a risky area, knowing that it was going to flood. And then they built a lot of them on raised dirt landfill, which then washes away. And there's a big problem with that in Florida, too. Well, then these people want to ask the government for money and help. And so the developers are the problem, the private sector developers. And now the thing is like the government implements out the money. And not all contractors are government employees. They're just not. They're private contractors across the United States. Oh, right here he mentioned, you mean those Fugazi mortgages. Now the mortgages are what they call the credit swaps. They went to Wall Street. So a lot of bankers, they switched from a regular bank to Wall Street. I actually was in a house that happened to, and it went to a Wall Street type of loan, which I thought was kind of interesting.